Hey everyone, welcome to Tube of Toons. I'm Luke, and today's video is going to be the next in our series covering the Annecy Online 2020. Now, unlike our last two videos that are covering movies that, yes, will only be on Annecy Online until the 30th of June, will eventually be released to the public. And so when those films eventually do come out, you can go back and look at those reviews. But today's video is actually going to be focused on events that come 30th of June, you will no longer have any access to them. And as such, I wanted to get this video out earlier in the coverage, as I wanted to encourage people to go and watch these events. Mainly for the reason that they're free. They're not behind the €15 paywall. They're right there on the festival's YouTube channel. They've got a whole playlist dedicated to the Mifa campus, which you can find right here. Now, Mifa campus is part of the Mifa section of Annecy, which is normally behind a higher paywall than the rest of the festival. However, there is a small section of it that they do give students access to, and you have talks by industry leaders focused on the latest technology, latest updates, as well as advice on how to get into the industry, talks that are specifically targeted at students. This is most likely one of the reasons why they chose to put these events up for free on YouTube, as the targets of them are students who, if they aren't attending the festival, may not be willing or may not even be able to afford the €15, particularly in the current climate. Just taking a glance at the playlist, you can see there's a whole host of options for people to look through. Now, some of the events are in French, and unfortunately due to them originally being live events, there aren't any subtitles and there is only auto-generated French closed caption. So unfortunately I wasn't able to watch any of those events and I can't really comment on them, but the bulk of them are in English, and so that's what I'm going to be looking at today. So I'm just going to touch on each one briefly and give you a sense of what each event covers to allow you to make an informed decision on what events are most worthy of your time before they are all taken off on the 30th of June. If you do have the time though, I really do recommend you have a look through all of them because there's some really great stuff in there. First up in the playlist is Keep Calm and Create On, which is a great little lecture on ways to stay motivated and how to overcome artist block. As artists and animators, we constantly find ourselves creatively stuck, and this gives you a few little exercises on things you can do to try and break that and how to avoid procrastination. They cover such things as how to find the best time for you to work, setting goals and following a schedule, and how to write different plans to get yourself out of a funk. Next up is Food, brought to you by Paris Lion Singapore. Now, this is a series of shorts created by students from 4 universities in the cities Paris, Lyon and Singapore, all centred on the theme of food. Most of these are student films, but they aren't like graduate films. They're normally from second year students, but there's some really great stuff in there. Pretty much every other short in the festival is behind the €15 paywall, so if you aren't able to pay that, this is a great way for you to see some animated shorts. Next up, we actually have 2 entries from Disney. So the first one is Frozen 2, and it's all about making your animation sing. Firstly, I do just want to make this clear, this is different to the Making of Frozen 2 screening that they do have on Annecy Online. Now, that is the first 2 episodes of the 6-part series, which actually launched on Disney Plus yesterday. So if you do already have Disney Plus, maybe wait till the festival's over to see that, because that's not going anywhere anytime soon. Whereas this is a mini lecture from a supervising animator on the film Frozen 2, giving you different tips and tricks that they learn when animating the characters, specifically singing. Now, it's led by the supervising animator for the characters of Sven and Queen Induna, both of who sing in this film. What are you talking about, Luke? I don't sing. I'm a reindeer. Very funny, Sven. What is it you're doing now? Oh, well, I guess you have a point there, Luke. They specifically focus on the way that people breathe when they sing, as technology has come on so far that now the 3D artists working on the film have to animate their characters breathing. In fact, he even tells us that the animators on this film all took singing lessons so that they could learn the proper ways to breathe when singing. Of course, a lot of this stuff, although mainly focused on singing, also applies to pretty much any time a character talks or takes heavy breaths, And although it's less likely that you will be animating characters breathing in 2D or stop motion, it is still something to think about, as when a character takes a larger breath, it is still something that you are going to have to animate. But the more you learn, the more you can apply to the practice however you want. Now, Disney's second event at Mifa campus is probably answering the most asked question by all students. What do I put in my showreel or portfolio? And this is a great little deep dive into what Disney look for specifically in portfolios and showreels. They focus on the showreel of an animator and the portfolios of a storyboard artist and visual development, which includes concept artist, environment design, and character design. And although some of this information is Disney specific, I think a lot of it can be applied to pretty much anywhere you want to apply for. And some of the practice that I even say are specific to Disney, they're most likely also carried out by the other large companies such as DreamWorks and Nickelodeon and Warner. And even if other studios aren't looking for those things specifically, it might be a good practice just to include them anyway. But not only is it great to hear exactly what they're looking for, as most of that stuff is actually available online. Just go on disneyanimation.com as well as disneycareers.com. What is truly invaluable is they actually take you through previous successful applicants' portfolios and say what they're doing right and, if anything, what they did wrong. Overall, two really strong contributions from Disney, giving some really good advice to young and upcoming artists. Next up we have the Nickelodeon panel, where they take us through their brilliant new series, the Casa Grandes. This talk is hosted by 4 different people in 4 different roles. They are the production manager, the colour supervisor, a storyboard artist and a background designer. And the 4 of them together take you through the pipeline of making the episode, each focusing on all of their different roles and how they all work separately yet come together to produce an episode over the course of about 55 weeks. And then after that, Nickelodeon answers probably the second most asked question by all animation students. How did you get into the industry? I thought this was really interesting as they all had really different stories. It was interesting to see some of them say, I applied for this internship with Nickelodeon, I got that, I worked on this show and that led to this show, and eventually they ended up on the Casa Grandes. And that was directly contrasted with the next person who would then say, I applied for that same internship and I didn't get it. But with all the hard work and perseverance, I did this, and eventually I ended up back at Nickelodeon and I'm working on the Casa Grandes with that same person. And it just shows that yes, you may have setbacks, but that doesn't mean you're never going to make it in the industry, as these people eventually did. And yes, although some luck is involved, the harder you work, the more likely you are to get a job. Overall, this was a great talk from Nickelodeon, and the Casa Grandes is a truly amazing series, and that's made even more obvious when you see the amazing people that are working on it. Next up was a talk on real-time technology and the Unity engine, and it was focused on some of the latest breakthroughs in rendering animation in real time. Now, I'd encourage anyone with a remote interest into animation to really look into this video, because compared to some of the talks by Disney and Nickelodeon, this video certainly didn't have as many views or as many likes. But I think this is actually a really important topic. With the power of the Unity engine, it seems like this is going to be quite possibly the future of animation, and render times are going to become practically non-existent. Which, if you know anything about rendering animations and rendering videos, the prospect of that is just incredibly exciting. Now, this talk does also recommend a brand new course on the Unity website with an exclusive early access using the link she gives in the video. I'm going to have the link down below as well. And it looks like an amazing free course online on the Unity website where you can learn how to use the Unity engine and create something that will render in real time, which I think is a skill a lot of studios are going to be looking for in the future. So it's definitely a good idea to get it on your resume that you know how to use the Unity engine. By the way, speaking of videos that don't have many likes, if you are enjoying this video, could you please give it a like? It helps more people see this video, and hopefully it'll help them decide what they need to watch from Annecy. And if you've not done so yet and you are enjoying it, please subscribe to the channel and you'll see more of my news covering the Annecy Festival this year. There are also multiple videos focusing on international residencies for animation. Now, I wasn't able to watch all of these, as some of them were completely in French. Some are in English and some are a mix, but they luckily had subtitles. But these are amazing ways that if you are a recent graduate or new to the industry of animation and you have any idea for a film, you can pitch it or apply to one of these residencies. They may give you residency, you'll stay, or they will help you make your short film, they'll pay you, you'll get free rent, or most importantly just funding for your film. Like if you are looking to make a film and dedicate time specifically to your film, applying to a residency is not a bad idea. And as you can see from the number of them in the playlist, there are plenty of residencies out there for you to apply to, and they're amazing opportunities that once your film is made, they help you get it out there, get it to festivals, get it on TV, maybe even made into a children's book. There was an amazing lecture on how to future-proof your career brought to us by the School of Visual Arts in New York City. This lecture featured multiple college tutors giving invaluable information to students on how to make their way in the industry. They talked about the future of the industry, how to apply for jobs and how to both market and present yourself in interviews or in any type of network setting, as well as how to use the online resources that are readily available to you, particularly during this lockdown, as many events like Annecy have moved to online, and there are lots of them out there that are free. And there are lots of events that regularly are recorded and documented online anyway. So there are lots of stuff out there that you just need to go out there and find. And the last of the events on this playlist, and the last one I'm going to talk to you about, is an event called That's Not All Folks. And it's brought to us by the studio Micros Animation. Now this is a fairly in-depth lecture about the importance of acting in animation, particularly in character animation. And he does this by talking about the history and the evolution of animation as an art form, but with a particular emphasis on acting, and talking about how some of the earliest works of animation were very focused on movement and less so on acting, and how as the medium grew to encompass like longer form storytelling, acting is something that the animators became more reliant on. And he talks about how even though it's important, it's not something that people readily learn as an animator, and it's not something a lot of animation schools provide in an extensive way outside of a few lessons. It's really interesting, and it really gets you thinking, and it maybe makes you think that next time you want to practice some animation, maybe also practice some acting techniques as well. Overall, I think the events that the Mifa campus has to offer are absolutely brilliant, and you'd be crazy not to look at them. They're, like I said, they're free. So go watch them before the 30th of June when they are going to be taken down, because that is officially the end of the festival. It's a shame they can't stay on much longer, but I do understand it. But I do understand a lot of this work is from different studios and there's lots of different rights, so I imagine they only have permission to use them for so long. I'm not sure the ins and outs of it, but while it's there, go and watch it. I hope this video has helped you decide if any of these videos are worth your time, because I truly think they are. Some really great lessons to be learned. I honestly hope you enjoyed this video. Please give it a like, hit subscribe, ring that notification bell, all that good stuff. Thanks for watching, guys. Cheers. Have they gone, Luke? Can I talk now? Not yet, Sven. Thanks for watching Tube of Tunes. If you want more from the channel, hit subscribe. If you want to keep up to date with what's going on, follow us on our socials. Hope you liked it. Cheers.